Good job.
Perfect.
Yes. So, it's whatever. Maybe a little bit more editing in post, but I have an extra day, so. Oh, Andrew. Should we let him in? There you come on. Come on, buddy.
So are you in Seattle?
Yeah, we're both in Seattle.
Nice.
Yeah.
How is it there?
Sunny and 70 degrees today.
Amazing.
I thought it was supposed to hit close to 80.
That's too hot.
Close to 80. That sounds nice.
It's too hot. Nobody has AC here.
Dang. Well, hopefully some nice breezes.
High of 78.
That's too hot, man. I'm going to have to box early in the day.
Yeah. I'm going up disc golfing and then doing a backyard thing with the in-laws.
Oh, turn yourself down. Turn it back down. That was too loud. You don't get to overpower this podcast.
Doing some...
Jesus. Sorry.
Talk.
That's fine. The ear levels are fine. Whatever.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah, so I guess... Cool. All right. This will be fun.
Well, welcome to the Get Offset podcast. My name is Emily.
And my name is Andrew.
And that's Julia from the band Ratboys.
Hi, Julia.
Hello. Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for coming back. If for those of you who follow the podcast for at least a year, we had Julia on last year right after kind of COVID hit. We did a bunch of episodes about where we talked to, musicians and builders who were affected by COVID. And then we had Steve Selvage from the Hold Steady back because he was one of the first people we talked to. And we thought, why not try to bring back some other people that we'd had during that very short-lived series? Because we very quickly all got tired of saying, don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, we'll just do the series, for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Maybe a month.
We did just do it for a couple weeks.
It'll be over by Easter.
Oh, Andrew. That took a minute. It hit a little hard. Okay. Wow. Well, what's new with you, dude? Your background's different.
My background is different. In fact, everything in this room is different.
And he froze. Fantastic.
Oh no.
Truly amazing. This is going to be a fun one. It doesn't matter. All right. Well, what's new with you, Julia?
Oh, well, not too much. I just got my second shot on Thursday.
Nice.
Happy about that. And
how you feel? You feel okay?
Yeah, I feel great. I was just a little bit tired and my arm was hurting. But other than that, my Dave and Sean both got their second shots recently. And I think they had more side effects than I did. So yeah, I don't know. But hopefully everything's going okay inside my body.
Yeah, I mean, if I feel bad, it's fine. I heard that getting hydrated helps.
Yeah.
If you're hydrated. Yeah.
Water.
Lots of water. Meanwhile, I'm drinking from a literal pint glass of coffee.
Oh, nice. Very good. I mean, true Seattle.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't know what happened to Andrew. This might be an Andrew-less episode, but it wouldn't be the first one.
Poor guy.
He's had a bit of a rough morning. And then I yelled at him. Listen, you can't just turn off your mic inputs,
Yeah, you gotta dial it in for sure.
I mean, you can turn up your amp on the stage as much as you want, but
see, that's what you would think that's true, but I got yelled at a few times for overstepping our bounds with stage, but that's okay.
Yeah. You play a Fender amp, right?
Yep, I do. I think it's a Fender Blues DeVille. Much like the Dan Electro guitar that I talked with you about for that reverb piece. Definitely bought that amp based on looks alone. I didn't really know anything about it when I bought it. And actually the guitar store where I bought my first Dan Electro guitar just kind of was like, hey, we'll sell you the amp with the guitar for cheaper or whatever. So I was like, okay, but
nice.
It was broken when I bought it. So
it was broken?
Yeah, if I tried to turn it up to a certain level, it started making crazy noises. But luckily, it's all good.
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
that's good. Andrew's back, but before
Is he good?
Yeah, before we dig back into his what's new, you mentioned the Reverb article. For those who are listening and don't know what Julia's talking about, I interviewed Julia for an article on reverb.com about Dan Electro guitars. And thank you for talking with me about that. You were one of the first people I reached out to, and you're also one of the only people to respond.
Hey, I was really stoked about that. Thank you for thinking of me. It was I don't know, those guitars. I'm very loyal to those guitars, and it was cool to have a chance to talk about them. So
it was funny that the Dan Electro rep just wouldn't respond to my emails. I'm like, well, okay. I feel like of all people would want to be a part of this, but
no, I'm not surprised at all. I've actually reached out to Dan Electro in the past because those are the only guitars I play, and I thought Fender is so artist friendly with giving away, like they give artists guitars and basses and amps and shit like out the wazoo. So I was like, maybe Dan Electro do something else, like something similar. And they never responded to me. And I was like, well, whatever, it's fine. But they did follow us on Instagram after that piece came out.
Same, actually. So maybe you're getting a little closer. Maybe now you got an in, because obviously they know about the article.
Indeed. Well, only time will tell.
Yeah. So, Andrew, you're back.
I don't know what happened. My internet dropped for no reason for like a minute or two. So, that's exciting. So what's new with me is I'm in a new space. And you could, if I do this and try not to break something, you can kind of see like all my crap and my windows and, Yep.
And your Yvette Young green
signature backdrop. Yep. So that's one of the first things I moved in. I don't know why, but I think it was probably just because it was in the middle of my other room.
Are you even going to use that green screen now that you're in this other room?
Probably.
Okay.
I just maybe not all of the time.
Because when we use the green screen, we're going to need to start getting you to clap in because there's quite a bit of latency.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have to nudge the audio when I edit the videos.
Good to know.
It's weird.
No, it's probably just the GPU on my PC that's 10 years old, trying to keep up with modern technology.
Those are certainly letters. Did you just turn up your volume again?
I did not. I have not touched it.
What the hell? All right, fine. It's fine.
I'm beginning to wonder, is there something up with your interface? Because I don't touch my settings.
I don't know. Probably.
I'm not your average guitarist. It's like, cool, sound checking now. I'm going to bump it up a little bit.
We did talk about that already. Yeah. Oh, man.
But no, I was up so well past midnight last night, kind of moving stuff into this room and trying to get a sense of settled. And
I suddenly feel so much older than you because I definitely went to bed at 10 o'clock last night. I watched a couple episodes of Catfish and then we went to bed.
Oh yeah, I've been up till midnight like every night for like a month now. I'm trying to keep up with everything, but so it's been a long week, but finally starting to make some progress, and every room in the house is moved.
Fantastic.
Excited to have the new space and looking forward to being able to build out whatever this backdrop's going to look like. I've got ideas. I'm not certain yet. And also looking forward to dealing with the echo in here.
Nice.
Yeah, hopefully like putting a carpet in here and maybe hanging some things on the walls.
Haters will say it's fake. Haters will say that room reverb is fake.
That is a statement that could be made. Yes.
Yes.
Side note, Dan Electros, I saw a hot take this week on the interwebs that said Rickenbackers are just Dan Electros for rich people. And I thought that was interesting.
That's really funny.
I don't really want to disagree with that one is the thing.
I kind of agree as well.
I'm like, oh, wow. Yeah.
I've enjoyed more Dan Electros than I have Rickenbackers. And the thing is, I want to like Rickenbackers so much. I just something about them. Like they look nice. I dig the aesthetic. As soon as I pick them up and start playing, like, maybe this 4000 series bass isn't for me.
Yeah, those basses are really heavy. I talked about that in the piece, like not like heavy sounding, but like physically extremely heavy. And so like Dave has a, what's it called? Rickenbacker 4000. Is that what it is?
4000.
He's ignoring me. But yeah, it's extreme. I can't like play that for more than 10 minutes. My hurting. I'm just a baby when it comes to stuff though.
You're petite.
Yeah, I just like, if there are lightweight options out there that sound great, then I'll go for that,
Well, it's like even Annie Clark, when she was making the St. Vincent model, she was like, it has to be lightweight because if I tour with a Les Paul, I need to tour with a chiropractor. Nobody wants that.
Yeah, I respect that. That's one thing. I've never played that guitar, but I was reading about like when she put it out, the shape of it and stuff was like designed for like a woman. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of lightweight guitars, though, this my tuna tone over there probably comes in at like 5 pounds, maybe.
Nice.
Yeah, it's very small, so it makes me look very big, but I love that guitar.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that Dan Electro piece was a lot of fun. Got a lot of comments on the Facebook from people who didn't read the article. It was pretty amazing.
Oh, really? I didn't even look.
Well, there were actually, I think people didn't read like the history part. Like Dan Electros never went away. I'm like, well, they didn't make them from 1969 to like the mid 90s, and then they didn't make them from 2001 to 2005. So yeah, they kind of went away.
Twice.
Twice they went away.
People are lazy.
Yeah. My first guitar pedals were Dan Electro. Other than the DS1 and the Crybaby Wah, my first pedals were all Dan Electro from that little lunchbox series.
Yeah, but depending on what drugs you were using at the time, those decades might not even exist in your memory. So counterpoint.
I really tried to just push you past that joke. A lot of cocaine in the 70s. Lots of coke. Fleetwood Mac.
Love it.
Oh man. Yeah, that green is so green.
It is very green. That's why it's intentionally so.
Yeah. Julia's no stranger to green screens.
Is this gonna be my coffee?
Oh, wait. Is your cat in there? What is he doing? What just happened?
Melissa brought me coffee.
Your coffee. I thought you said, is that Poppy? And then you went to the door and then you were like at this level. It looked like you were petting a cat still. I
was not petting a cat. No, I was, getting coffee.
Orange. Shout out to Tom, our Patreon Tom, for sending you that mug.
Is your spouse the only one that's allowed to bring you coffee on the podcast? Come on.
I did not imply that.
I was waiting for you to imply it so I could feign being upset about it, and then you didn't, so I decided to imply it anyways. Sometimes
I don't like to make the joke that I know that everybody wants me to make. But can I talk about what's new with me really quick before we start talking about
it?
Fine. I got baby's first low sounds pedal.
Nice.
The FM thingy made from a real deal Radio Shack intercom system.
That looks so cool.
It's basically awesome. It's a modulated lo-fi delay, and this LED shows you the rate of the modulation, and this lights up. This talk icon lights up when it's on, and it's really cool. It makes me very happy. And then it has warnings on the back. Warranty void if opened. Made for Emily. Built by Aisha Lowe.
That's so sick.
Yeah, it's really cool. I like it. And I also got her Super Fuzz that she makes. So check out Aisha Lowe, friends, viewers, listeners. She's based in Oakland, California. It's her and her partner Fiona doing everything. Fiona will do hand-painted enclosures that are really, really neat too. So big thanks to Aisha. I did buy the FM thingy, but she sent me a 2-for-1 with the Super Fuzz, which I very much appreciate. For disclosure, because people will say I'm bought and I'm sold and then I'm a corporate plant, which is hilarious. Cool. All right. Well, do we have any other sponsors? Anyone else you want to thank before you finish sending off that text?
No, sorry.
Don't. I'm just teasing you. You don't
There's
need to
something
explain.
important happening that might involve the police.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, you know what? Okay, so
Just gonna leave that super cryptic.
Listen, I gotta talk about the one time the last time I had to call the police and just like what a cluster that was. I'd had someone actually just walked into our office when I worked downtown, and I'd ridden my bike into work that day and it got wet. So I put the shoes I was wearing on the bike along with some gloves and just so they would dry out. And someone just waltzed in, stole them. Stole my little ladies size 6.5 boots.
Nice.
So thank God I had extra shoes at the office that day. God. Like I had like my workout shoes. Otherwise I would have not had shoes at the office that day. But I had to call the police like a week later because the next day I was going on vacation. So I called the police and I'm like, here's a description of everything. Here's an approximate cost. Just because, I want like statistics to be correct. And my boss told me he wanted me to call the police, I guess, to like have more like push or pull with the building to like maybe improve security measures or something. The cop was so mean. He was so rude. And I was thinking, why do they have to send a police officer to just do this thing that's essentially 99% of the time for insurance purposes? Police don't solve crimes. Like half of major crimes especially go unsolved by the police. So when all you need is like an insurance form, why do you need a police officer to do that? Because they don't want to be there.
And now I'm rethinking my career in the corporate world. Maybe it should just be a criminal.
So you can steal lady
shoes,
size 6.5 boots
and catalytic converters from Priuses.
But what made me mad was that the gloves were like a size women small because I have smallish hands.
Yeah,
and the shoes were so small. All of those things ended up in a gutter. You can't sell any of those things.
Yeah, it sucked.
Maybe his feet were smaller than they looked on the camera.
Well,
it really looked like that. Who's that? Not Chris D'Elia, that other dirtbag from the TV show Silicon Valley. TJ Miller. Yeah, the guy. We actually did have a camera. Because like another reason we called the police is like we know what the guy looks like because we got a really clear shot of his face. Looks so much like TJ Miller from Silicon Valley. Like,
maybe it was.
Man. Yeah.
Thoughts, comments, concerns?
I would actually how far he has fallen if he's stealing my shoes.
No.
What a world. Yes, it was unpleasant, and I don't envy you for having to deal with that today.
No, it is what it is. Shall we hop into the episode?
Yeah, let's talk. I don't know how much time we have left. So we're doing this via Zoom because Zencastr wasn't working, which was really fun. But last year we'd had Julia on right after just some terrible things happened in the music industry and the world in general. Ratboys had just released a really great album. They were going to tour, and first headlining tour, printed the t-shirts and everything. I have one. It's a great shirt. And then, of course, everything gets canceled. So last time we talked, it was we talked a little bit about like how you were keeping momentum going via these live streams. And it's about a year later. It looks like live music will possibly be back in the fall, like really hopeful that September-ish music will happen again. So I just kind of wanted to get a take on like what happened this year. Like how was the rest of your year? How's your past 12 months been?
Yeah. It's been a year for sure. I think everyone has kind of their own personal individual experiences, but we've all kind of at the same time lived through this collective event. That's something I was thinking a lot about last night. Like everything that we're going through now, it just feels like I feel very like connected to people through social media, even though I haven't like seen a lot of my friends in person in a long time. So It's been tough. I mean, I'm an introvert. I feel kind of like fine being alone most of the time. And I feel lucky too, because I live with two of my bandmates. And so we were kind of set up to be able to thrive as much as possible during this whole pandemic. Like we have our gear downstairs and we're able to record, at home, and it could have been way worse. But yeah, it's been really tough. Like we try to stay positive. We've been trying to stay busy. And like you said, having the possibility of playing shows again, on the horizon is extremely exciting. So yeah, we're just doing our best to kind of work to that point and keep a little bit of momentum going. Cause yeah, it was tough, like having the rug kind of pulled out under our feet last spring. But
yeah,
again, it wasn't just us, like that happened to everyone. So that was not comforted by the like shared misery of all my peers, but it is a little bit comforting that it's not like a mistake we made, or it wasn't, our fault. It was just circumstances, and gotta figure out how to react. So
the world feels a little bit like one of those group therapy sessions.
Yeah.
Like everyone can like share their own experience. It is comforting to know that you're not alone when all of this terribleness, like nobody remembers how to play guitar.
No, absolutely. It is extremely comforting, and it's nice too, like just to, I don't know, be able to reach out and like lean on your friends, even if it does feel like you're kind of having the same conversations about nothing, like, because there's not that much to talk about. But
yeah,
I don't know. I've kind of gone back and forth of never felt kind of more isolated, but also more connected to people in a weird way. So, yeah, but it's going to be weird getting back out into the world again. Like in a couple weeks, I'll be totally, immunized or whatever the word is. So,
I think it's invincible.
So you're fully inoculated, and
Indeed.
And then you'll be
yeah. I don't know.
Did you do your research on the Porky Pig stutter, Andrew?
No, I've been spending my entire week moving. I've done
immunized. A boy.
Yes. Yeah. I'm just really excited to go to a baseball game this summer. Yeah. It's going to be
a guaranteed rate field.
You know it. That's where I'll be. Catch me in section 555. That's my zone. But yeah, I cannot wait. It's going to be really weird though with shows. Like I've seen a few tours be announced, and people in the comments are like, what are the COVID protocols you're taking? And no one has responded. And so I'm like, fuck, because we're going to announce some shows in a couple of weeks. And I'm like, we need to figure that out before we announce these shows. Because every show is in a different city, different municipality, there's rules that might be different everywhere. So having that figured out by the time you announce the tour is kind of important. But at the same time, they might change. So it's is it even worth announcing that when maybe different by September? I don't know. So
because in Seattle, it's 25% capacity has been the rule, but no venues are opening because you can't make money at 25% capacity.
Yeah.
Imagine or you charge $100 for a ticket and then you charge $40.
I don't know. I think if I had to pay $100 for a ticket to a show right now, I might. I'm getting pretty desperate.
There are some bands that would pay $100 to see yesterday.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I basically have paid $100 to see, but
it is just so interesting though how it's different based on where you are. Because in Nashville, they're open.
It's a free for all. It's
kind
of a nightmare.
Yeah, totally. So it's kind of a clusterfuck as far as just figuring out a safe and consistent, stable way to tour. But yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll get it going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then you have some very exciting news coming up in 2022. It's been announced. Yeah, baby.
Europe, Julian Baker. Can't wait for that. I am so stoked. That kind of fell out of the sky.
Yeah.
To us. We were just so excited.
You were fuck yes.
Yeah. Well, been a big fan of theirs for a long time. And I don't know. I like randomly met Julian Baker on tour in 2016, and she was touring in a Prius back then.
Nice.
Yeah, another person, and she was just
right. It's just her. It's just her.
Yeah, back then it was. She has a band now. And, eventually she started playing with like a string section and stuff. But yeah, back then it was just her and a TM merch person in a Prius, and she was like the most down to earth, like warm, nice person, and kind of just kept in touch a little bit over the years. Not really, but the fact that she invited us to do this tour is like so awesome. And we've been to Europe a couple times, but never like on an actual like official tour. So this will be something special for sure.
I remember when I saw her, I drove up to Vancouver, BC to see her because I had a thing the night she was in Seattle, and Rick and I were like, let's just go. It sounds like fun. It'll be fun. Nice. And it was, and every single person working on that tour with her was a woman.
Nice.
Sound person, the whoever was collecting the merch money. Actually, that might have been a dude, but like, it's like the roadies, the people in their setup, all women. Like, oh yeah, that is very possible to do. Neat.
That's really, really cool. Yeah, the woman with her when they were in a Prius was a woman. It was It's just I don't know. It's just cool to see how she's grown over the years, but maintained like a very, I don't know. She's always just herself, and I really admire that. New record's so cool. I was waiting for this to happen, for there to be drums and a full band, and it sounds just as cool as I was hoping it would. So
nice.
Super. Yeah.
Speaking of new records, you have a new old record.
Indeed.
So Ratboys, if I have this correct, re-recorded your first like record or EP, and it sounds great.
Thank you. Yeah, we re-recorded 10 really, really old songs. The first half of that, the A side is the first EP that we ever put out, and then the B side is a collection of other old songs from that same time period that we never really put out like officially. So yeah, we went to the studio, re-recorded them. We also recorded a lot at home, so that was kind of fun because it was almost like calling back to the experience of recording the original 2011 songs in our bedrooms and stuff. So yeah, it was dope.
What was it like emotionally revisiting those old songs? Because I feel like it's really easy to be hard on yourself for like, oh, I would have done that differently today. But also there's like, when I revisit old stuff, I'm like, at the same time, like, that was really good. Like, I'm proud of what I did. So like, how did that kind of land with you?
Yeah, I'm probably leaning toward the second thing you mentioned, where I was honestly really kind of surprised with how much I still enjoyed the old songs, and how much they held up as far as like the meaning, and like I still like was kind of impressed with some of the lyrics and stuff. Granted, I'm definitely able to look back on some of those old songs now and be like, oh, like, like for instance, the song Have a Heart, which I like a lot. I'm like, I wrote that song for a class, and even Collected.
Yeah.
Those two songs, like I could tell now that I like wrote them for school, because I definitely was like cramming in as much like specific information in the lyrics as I could that was like relevant to what we were learning in class. And so I definitely, if I could do those ones over, I probably would have like repeated some lyrics in a chorus or something, because they're so fucking wordy, So I definitely like, I'm able to critique them from a distance now, but at the same time, I was kind of, like surprised with how much they held up for me. And yeah, it definitely wasn't like cringy or anything. And don't get me wrong, there's some songs from like our earliest years that definitely are cringy looking back, and we did not choose to record those. So, we were kind of, we were happy with the ones that we chose, though.
Nice. Cream of the crop.
I'd like to think so. But yeah, honestly, like that first EP, like I still think it's really good. And it was kind of interesting re-recording it, because like I didn't want to, like, I wanted it to be something new that could exist beside it and not replacing those original recordings or anything, because I still think they have a lot of like heart and merit. So yeah, it was a joy to do this though. And honestly, COVID gave us more time to do this than we would have had, because for a long time, well, not a long time, for like a few months before COVID, I had been brainstorming about how we could maybe bring these songs back to life or release them around the 10-year anniversary. But then when COVID happened, we suddenly had like a ton of time to actually see it.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like one of the themes of some of these revisits is that good things came out of like a big pause. Like there were bad things, obviously, lots and lots of really bad things, and loneliness, and what you thought was going to happen didn't happen, but there was a lot of time to work on things that maybe you weren't prioritizing but kind of wanted to do.
100%. Yeah, I feel like that's true for everyone. Like we were just kind of given this gift of having like supreme amounts of time on our hands. So we were able to learn a ton of new things. And yeah, I don't know if this record would have happened the way it did if we didn't have the time we had, because the original idea was to re-record the EP, put that on the A side, and then put the original recordings of the EP on the B side and release it like that. But suddenly we had more time, and so we were like, oh, we could just do like 5 other songs in addition and have like a whole LP of new recordings to put out. So yeah, it worked out great. And like I said, we had a lot of fun just messing around at home. There wasn't really a hard deadline. Like we gave ourselves one eventually because we knew that there were like vinyl delays and stuff, which have become extreme.
Like 6 or 8 months, some of them.
Yeah. Luckily we got it like right in time. I think we sent out the vinyl order in December or something, but yeah, it was really chill though. We had like a lot of time to just try stuff at home. And since we were recording at home, we weren't on the clock for like a studio, day rate or anything. So it was super chill.
Frees you have to be a little bit more creative and figure out how to play with it a bit. And yeah,
totally.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was usually really, writing in the studio is very expensive.
Yeah, definitely don't do that. we go into the studio. We have a plan. So
there was something I was looking at on Twitter. Somebody had sent this recording, and this person who runs the studio a message that says, "Hey, we have 9 songs. They're not finished yet, but we hope we can finish in the studio. We saw that your day rate is $400, and we want you to know that we take our music very seriously. And if we don't have fully mixed and mastered 9 songs in 2 days, we're not paying." I'm like,
"Oh,
sorry, what? You haven't even finished the songs and you want to do 9 songs? Like that might be possible to record if you're really tight and know what you're doing. It will not be possible to record if you are still writing the endings. Everything will just fade out."
It's like the golden triangle of like, you can get it like one corner it's cheap, one corner it's quality, and one corner it's fast. Like you pick 2.
Welcome back.
We back.
Yes, there's going to be a very awkward transition right in the middle of that. But long story short, Andrew had to drop off. So we're going to talk for just a little bit longer because Julia's got hot sauce plans.
Yep. Really overbooked myself today, but it's going to be great. And I'm happy that we get to keep chatting.
Yeah, dude, that's me. Like every day. I don't know what I'm thinking when I'm like, I am just so atrocious at saying no.
Yeah, me too. And it's like, it's fun to do stuff. So I just want to do it all, but we'll make it work.
We will. Yes. So we were talking a little bit about the new old EP, and I think in we were talking about like feeling proud about older songs, and like, oh man, it's really cool that I could accomplish that when I was a little bit younger. Or like I think that the key thing is just and I try to practice this a lot as an adult. I think it's so easy to look back on like anything you did when you were younger and not be kind to yourself, but like then I think about like what little me would think, if she knew that adult me was being so hard on her, and I think she'd be really sad. So I try not to do that. And
That's really
it's something you got to practice, I think.
totally. I mean, like, something I think about too is when I look back at some of the music that we made 10 years ago and just, life decisions I made, I feel like my move back then was just to go through life and like not really think about it. Or if anything, like, obviously you want to, put a little bit of thought into your decisions, but at the same time, like, just kind of trusting your instincts and being yourself was just such like a big part of my life back then. If anything, I feel like I've like lost that a little bit over the years, and it's kind of nice to look back and realize like, oh, that was the way you lived back then, and like good things happened. So it's good to kind of self and just live every day. So it's a good reminder of that for me.
Yeah, and I don't know how you feel, but like I feel personally like I like where I am right now. I think I'm pretty happy with like the life I have. I'm, happy that I'm living in Seattle, that I'm married to my husband, that I have like musical tools and have outlets and like my job. And I'm like, every dumbass decision I made when I was younger still led to this. Like the shitty boyfriends, the shitty decisions, like all of that, like broken friendships, like it led to this thing that I'm pretty okay with, like not just okay with, but just really genuinely happy with.
Yeah, I think that's the goal, Yeah. And I'm right there with you. I feel any regrets that I have about the past are vastly outweighed by just general, contentment with the way things are now. So I feel lucky to be in that position for sure.
Yeah, and the band's doing really well. What else could you ask for? This thing you've been working on for 10 years, you're going to be an overnight success.
Oh my God. Well, even right. Well, like just to have people like by our side who believe in what we're doing. Like it's taken us years to kind of like meet people and gather them together. And that is the ultimate goal, is to just kind of have, relationships that you can depend on and that, nourish you. And that's something that we still are working on. And it's kind of a lifelong goal for me.
Yeah. Well, that's really great. Let's talk about Skyline Chili. Just kidding. I really do want to talk about Skyline now.
I'm always down.
What's your go-to Skyline order?
I usually just get, it depends if I'm like hungry. I will either get 2 or 3 cheese conies with mustard and onions.
Yeah.
And the biggest Mountain Dew they sell. And I love my favorite thing too, while I'm waiting. If I'm inside in the drive-thru, it's different, but get the oyster crackers. Mm-hmm. They got the little hot sauce bottle. You can like dab a single dot of hot sauce on the oyster cracker.
Yeah, each cracker one. Bombs.
Yes. So that's my, what about you?
Mine is I do 2 cheese conies, mustard and onions, and then I do this child size 3-way. Because it's just enough. It's just enough.
That's such a good idea. I have a confession. I never had like the spaghetti, the 3-way, 4-way, whatever at Skyline. I've only ever done the conies, and that's just kind of how I am. Once I like find a thing I like, I just kind of order that until I die. So That's a really good idea though, because that's like not too much of a commitment. Like, because I don't want to waste food, but that's a good idea.
3-ways are fucking enormous.
Yeah, I don't need that much, but that's a really good idea. I'll probably do that next time.
I think another thing is that like you can buy the chili, you can buy regular noodles, and you can buy like mild cheese and shred it finely yourself, but you literally can't buy those little ass hot dogs.
No,
those little buns. You can't.
No. And I would honestly argue that the shredded cheese they use, I know it's literally just like the shittiest, like shredded, American cheese, whatever. But like the texture of it is so perfect. And in my opinion, like extremely difficult to replicate that I tried making myself once.
Did you buy the pre-shredded cheese? Because that has like that weird, like powdery film that keeps it from fluffing. And that ain't it. It's like, it has to be mild cheddar, has to be finely shredded. And then they have somebody there who's like puffs up.
Fluffing it.
Yes, they have a cheese fluffer.
Crucial. Yeah, that's a professional right there. So
that is skilled labor.
Can't do that myself.
Skilled labor. Pay that person the money. In Tacoma, there used to be a chili parlor. It was called the Chili Parlor, and it was a guy from Cincinnati, and he did his best. But the big issue that we always had with him is he just bought the pre-shredded cheese. It's not melting in right.
Nah.
Yeah, that was always that was a place that my brother and I dearly wanted to love, but
what a shame.
Yeah, wow, it was a farce. But hey, I got some Skyline in the freezer.
Nice.
Sorry, I don't.
Jealous.
Yeah, Skyline in the freezer. No graters in the freezer right now.
That's okay.
Got Skyline in the pantry. It's a special occasion food. I'm not the sveltest lady. So if I go box 8 rounds right now, maybe I'll feel like I can have some.
Nice. A little treat for a physical exertion.
Yes, I gotta learn how to stop. I don't know how other people reward themselves, but I always reward myself with either food or guitar shit.
Oh yeah, I'm the same way. I'm completely, or TV sometimes. We'll say I can watch an episode of this once I've done this dumb task that I keep procrastinating, but
I did something good. I get to watch a Frasier now.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. That actually sounds less damaging than eating, and it sounds less expensive.
Or you do both at once, and that's when it gets pretty wild.
That is the money stuff. That's the good thing. And yeah, so you get any new guitar pedals lately? Bring it back to gear.
So I got one for Christmas. It's actually the Julia pedal. My friend Eric, who plays in Pet Symmetry, was telling me about that pedal and was kind of joking and you should get this because of my name. And but then he was actually it's my favorite chorus pedal I've ever played, blah blah. And I've never owned a chorus pedal. I really don't have. It's only my third guitar pedal. Other than tuner, and so I was like, yeah, fuck it. I should probably expand my palette, my sonic palette. So, and also I had a kind of an epiphany recently where I was like, oh, I don't necessarily need to bring this on the road. Just because I don't have any songs that would use this on tour, I can just use it at home to record and stuff. So, and I can write with it. So that was exciting. Honestly, I haven't really used it much though. I'm kind of ashamed. I need to I've been so focused on rehearsing songs for shows and stuff. I haven't really, and I usually write with an acoustic guitar. And so I haven't really used that. But hopefully this summer, we're kind of going to switch gears this summer and earnestly, keep working on new music. And so I'll be able to break that out for sure.
Nice. Yeah. The Julia, it has a lot of fans. It's voiced a little dark for my taste, but that's something that you can compensate pretty easily.
For sure.
If you're playing a very bright amp, you would love something like that, but
totally. Yeah.
I don't play bright amps. I play dark amps anyway. So it's just dark on dark on dark.
Respect. Yeah. I don't even know. My amp is just kind of it sounds insane. So it'll be interesting what comes of it. But so far when I've just kind of chilled on it, it's been really nice. And honestly, we ran Dave's lap steel through it once and that sounded really cool. So we'll just have to give it a go. And even it might be cool to like run vocals through it or something. I don't know. Just gonna see what happens.
Yeah, I have this pedal from Old Blood Noise Endeavors. It's called the Maw. And I don't know if there's a chorus setting on it, but it's basically an XLR-N. You can add like saturation for a little bit more distorted tone, but then there's like a ton of effects. And it's really, really fun. There's an octave up and octave down, which is really funny all the time. And then reverbs and delays and a rotary kind of sound. So I like that. I like playing acoustic instruments with that. Just like put an SM57 up and just strum the acoustic guitar of the Mando into some weird effects. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Plugins. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That's how I first started out like experimenting with effects. Was I have this amp. It's called a Roland Microcube. It's like a tiny tiny amp. It runs on batteries. Like you don't even need to plug it in. But it has some built-in presets like a flanger and I don't even know what else. Just some weird like little, they're kind of like really cheesy, but I also love them. And so when I was first like writing songs in my bathroom in Kentucky, I would just like plug my acoustic guitar into that because my acoustic guitar had a pickup at the time. And that was my first, it felt kind of like I had a pedal. I didn't know what pedals were at the time. So that was just it for me, but it was awesome. I still have a soft spot for that stuff. That amp is so
and stuff. Oh, those are like big busker amps because of the batteries. But
yeah,
my first foray was I had one of those Line 6 amps, like a Flex Tone 2. I never really got a ton of use out of the effects on it, to be honest. But I was like, I might be the only person who ever bought that amp and then just used like the cleanest setting it had.
For sure. Yeah, it was definitely, the effects on the Microcube were more for my benefit. I don't know if I ever showed them to anyone, but I was mostly just trippy by myself, you know.
I had my mom get my mom taught me my first guitar chords on acoustic, and she's been getting into electric over quarantine. And I had her get one of those, it's like a Fender Mustang amp, and it has a bunch of built-in effects. And I don't think she's really been playing with it very much, but I think she's had some fun. She's like, so I was doing one of those lessons for a David Bowie song, and it said that this is the preset you want to use it to sound like the album, and I'm just not quite sure how to like make the sounds. I'm like, oh, this is fun. This is really
that's
cute.
Great.
Like,
well, it's there for
phaser.
It's there for her whenever she's ready.
Mm-hmm. She and I have matching Jazz Masters now. She bought the
American
Professional 2 series. Yeah, I sent my Fender guy a picture of me sitting on the sofa playing mine, and then because my mom had sent me a picture of her sitting on the sofa playing hers, and I sent them both to him, and I think he thought it was pretty great.
That rules.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I know you got to get going because you got to, have a hot sauce experience that hopefully will be better than my hot sauce experience.
Yeah, man. I'll let you know how it goes for sure.
I hope it goes well. So where can people check out Ratboys?
Yeah, well, we are kind of all over the internet. We are on ratboys.bandcamp.com. We got, I don't know when this episode's going to air, but April 29th is Tuesday. Okay, great. Yeah, April 29th, which is on Thursday night. We're going to do our big 10th anniversary show. We did kind of a cool thing with it. We went to Shuba's. Have you ever been to Shuba's?
I haven't been to Shuba's, but I'm familiar.
It's a really great venue. It's one of the first venues that we played when we started playing shows in Chicago. But anyway, they let us bring in all this furniture into Shuba's, and we set it up on the floor and kind of tried to make it feel like a living room show.
Yeah, little vignettes almost.
Yeah, well, that was the first show we ever played, was a living room show. And the idea was to try to make it feel like that, make it feel really cozy and intimate. And so that I'm so happy with how that works out. And it's super different from any of the live streams that we've done during the pandemic, because we, had a friend who brought a bunch of nice microphones and some friends who brought some nice cameras. And so it looks and sounds nicer than the other stuff we've been doing. But anyways, that show is April 29th, and we're really, really excited for that.
Is it free, or is it people buy fans.live or something?
It's ticketed. It's on ratboys.bandcamp.com. It's $10. I like to think it's worth it. There's a lot of old footage in it too, and we did some interviews kind of just reminiscing. So it's more of it's almost like a documentary kind of. Yeah, we put a lot of time and effort and money into making this. So we're just hoping to break even and have something cool to share with people. So, and we're going to
I'll drop the link for that in the video description and the show notes for the listeners. If you're listening, click on that link.
Cool. Thanks. Yeah. It's, we're going to do a little Q&A after too. We're just going to be hanging live. Nice. But then also, we're on Twitch, watch Ratboys. We go live. We try to do it. It's been a little bit inconsistent lately, but ideally we go live once a week. So we'll be back. I think May 1st is going to be the next show, Derby Day. So
yes. You're going to drink your mint juleps.
And we're going to bet live on TV. So it's going to be something.
Dude, I did, I worked for a company, and we did an event that was on Derby Day, and it was called the Front Stretch Festival. And the guy who like was running the whole thing, he forgot that the Derby is like early afternoon and is over in like 90 seconds. Like,
Yeah.
And then everybody left at like by like 2:30 or something very early. And we just had all this whiskey and shit, and we're like, well, fuck.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do with all this booze?
Yep. Gotta start early.
We bought it, and then it was like tastings, and then people could buy more tokens. But yeah, you learn a lot working whiskey of tastings, because I've worked several, and they are
yeah. Well, hey, there are worse things than a leftover bourbon for sure.
I didn't get any of the leftover bourbon. I just got whatever I could fit in my flask.
Well, hey, that's
better than nothing. Better than nothing. So this episode drops on 420. And
nice. Well, happy holidays to all of our weed smokers out there.
Those who celebrate.
Yes, indeed. Sending greetings out to you. But yeah, I'm just stoked. We're going to be announcing some tour dates for the fall in mid-May. So really, really excited that the four of us will all be fully vaxxed by then. So super excited just to get back out there, and hopefully we can all commune in person again before too long.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Again, video description links, yada, yada, yada. Ratboys has a Patreon. I think I support your Patreon.
Cool. I think you do too. Yeah.
I just take the Patreon money people give me, and I funnel it into like yours and Charlie Bliss, my friend Mike, my friend who runs the Modular Modcast, and yeah, I'm just like, let's just redistribute funds.
That rule. Well, thank you.
That's my favorite. Andrew doesn't know I do that.
Nope.
I don't care. I pay for everything. What else? Please rate, review this podcast on iTunes. It really helps us. Click subscribe on the YouTube. Check out Ratboys on Twitch. Check out all the links in the video description. Julie, again, thanks so much. I think what you all are doing is very wonderful. I think you guys make great music, and I love the creativity you all have had throughout this past year from hell. It's been really nice to see, and also nice to see you all get some props, because I remember I was coming back from Treefort once, put on KEXP in the car, heard y'all on, like, KEXP was playing one of your songs, and I was like, damn, that's really great.
Yeah. Dude, that is great. I really appreciate you listening and having me on, and just saying, I think we might be at Treefort later this year, so maybe we'll see.
Well, maybe I'm hopeful to go. One of the next two Treeforts. They're like 6 months apart this time, but
True. They are.
Yeah,
well,
I mean, I'm invested in Treefort now. I did the We Funder for them because I think it's a great festival. But
it is so.
Yeah, I won't keep you any longer. Thanks for watching. Thanks for understanding. Until next time, my name is Emily. Andrew bounced a while ago. That's Julia. If you're listening, you're about to hear. If you're listening just on the podcast, you're about to hear Michelle Sullivan and the All Night Boys featuring me. Goodbye.
See ya.